Welcome to our 5 on 5. We're pleased to welcome in Sharon Harris with Southern Oregon Housing for All. Sharon, good to meet you. Thanks so much for being here. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
So you're part of this new coalition. Who else is part of this coalition?
Well, we have some people who represent interfaith groups in Ashland, and mostly just concerned citizens, some people who volunteer with the shelter, and just concerned citizens concerned about the housing crisis.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about the housing crisis. And this group seems to be mainly focusing on Ashland. Tell us what's happening in Ashland, in case people don't know.
Yeah, so a lot of people, I guess, assume that Ashland's a really affluent community, but across the nation, I think your reporter actually did something a week ago where they mentioned that there is nowhere in this nation where a family that is living on minimum wage can afford 2-bedroom housing. And so that even affects places like Ashland. We have about 24%, I think, of our population that's living at or below poverty. They can't afford affordable housing, and affordable housing is defined as something that uses 30% of your income or less towards housing. And we have less than some people say 1%, other people say 2% vacancy rate in Ashland, so it's a very real problem.
Yeah, tell us that you guys have developed a 4-point agenda. Tell us break that down for us.
Right, yeah, so we actually had a group of us who are concerned about the housing crisis. We did a public meeting at the Ashland Library back in August, and out of that meeting where we had about 80 people in attendance, including city councilors and the mayor and other citizens and a lot of renters, people from all walks of life that were interested in this. And we solicited from them what they thought we needed to do that could address the housing crisis. We came up with 4 points. One is to fund the Housing Trust Fund, which City of Ashland has. We have about $166,000 in this account. And then we also wanted to see a 24/7 shelter to help house people in a very temporary way.
Sure.
We'd like to see some movement in the tiny house movement, something from the city could do in zoning to kind of help promote that or allow it, and that would be transitional housing. And then we'd like to also address renters' issues because of the low vacancy rate. We have such a minimal inventory of housing in Ashland, affordable housing. We came up with something that was very doable where other communities, I believe it was Portland, Bend, and Milwaukee, have also approved this, where if there's a no-cause eviction, we'd like the landlords to give the tenants 90 days notice rather than like a 30 or 60 day, depending on how long the tenant's been in the property. So, and this again, it's for a no-cause eviction.
Right. Got it. Okay. All right. So how did you get involved in this?
About 5 years ago, I started volunteering with the winter shelter in Ashland. I'm a regular host at Pioneer Hall, which
good
is,
for you.
Yeah, so I spend most Tuesday nights and some other nights at the shelter.
Okay. And so you guys are, where do you go from here? What's the next step in the process?
So the next step is we had we had the first meeting at the Ashland Public Library. We had another meeting at Temple Emek Shalom a couple weeks ago. On January 25th, we have another community meeting where we're trying to get some people in the community who are interested to show up, and we're going to kind of work together and figure out how they can participate, how we can present to the city council, because this is going to be a collaborative effort. It's a really big problem, and I don't think any single group is going to be able to solve this. So we'd like to see the city government get involved. We'd like to see some faith groups. We'd like to see other social justice action groups get involved. And we're going to start with maybe presenting to the city council at a public forum. So if anyone's interested in participating in this process, they would go to Temple Emek Shalom in Ashland, 6:30 at night on January 25th, which is next Wednesday.
Okay, well, great to meet you. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it.
Thanks for your time.
All right, stay with us. We'll be right back.